10, Gallagher, stop messing around.
Oh.
Archie. We can get rid of the start. I can cut it out. Right, so just to go through, there is one method that will help you both multiplying and dividing. Now with this, when we do multiplying and dividing decimals, you have to know how to do multiplication using a column method and division using long division. Are we okay at that point?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, right. So if I do decimals, let's do multiplying decimals. So for instance, 3.6 times 0.02. Alright. Now the method that we developed, the one that you've just watched, is there are a number of decimal places in the question. So that's how many decimal places you put in your answer. Now, I'm going to explain that a little bit further and why that happens, and then that will help you understand your division. So, these are the numbers I want to multiply, but it doesn't mean I have to keep them as decimals. So I'm going to write these. Sushi, you actually, since this is for you. Yeah? I'm going to write 3.6 as 36 over 10. Right? Are you all happy that that is still the same number, but written as a fraction? Right? And then this will be 2 over 100. Okay? So I've got the same thing. Now it's a case of multiplying fractions. Do you remember how to multiply fractions? Go on.
You turn the numbers around?
No. Sushi?
You made both the numbers into like fractions?
No. Don't need to. Is he? Yeah, this is nice. It's adding and subtracting you're thinking of, and Amel, you're thinking of division. With multiplication, it's just multiply tops, multiply bottoms. And I don't want to change these at all to equivalent fractions. I'm just going to do 36 times 2, which, this one's quite easy. 36 times 2 is 72. Okay? And then 10 times 100 is 1,000. See, now, the answer I could say is 72 over 1,000, but if I want it to remain in the decimal format, I have to do 72 divided by 1,000, which is
0.072.
Because if it was 72, we have to move it 1, 2, 3 spaces to be divided by 1,000. So 0.0. Now, this is why, because of the 10 times 1,000, or 10 times 100 is 1,000, why it's 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places makes 3 decimal places. But that's the reason why it is that way. Okay, so it works with multiplication. Now, let's say if I had to do 31.6 divided by 0.4. Now, I can use the same sort of method. So I'm going to write, the important thing is the number that we divide by. I want the number that we divide by to be an easy divisor. Okay? So the number you divide by is always the important one. So I want 0.4 to be 4. And it's going to be 4 over 10. Okay? Now, this one, nice and easy, I'm going to be 316 over 10. Easy. Alright? Just so happens they're both the same. Now, what do we do to divide by a fraction? Is it again?
On the second one, for example, you put the 10 at the top and the 4 at the bottom.
Yeah, so we find the reciprocal, so it's 10 over 4, and then... Okay, so if we find the reciprocal of the second fraction, we then multiply. Now here's the thing. Because I've got a 10 on the top and 10 on the bottom, right, this will end up as 3160 over 40, but I can simplify this to just
316 divided by 4.
Okay. So actually I could have forgotten about the tens and just done 316 divided by 4. Now, okay, it's 316 divided by 4, however you do this. 4 into 3 is 0. So we do 4 into 31, which is 7. 7 times 4 makes 28. So we find the remainder is 3. Bring the 6 down. 4 into 36 is 9. 9 times 4 is 36. So that's remainder 0. So we're sorted. So we've got the answer 79. So therefore, because I've not changed anything, I've just written them as a different way. The answer here is 79. Do you remember I said with division you don't adjust the answer afterwards? And actually, if we do it like this, we don't adjust the answer afterwards either. All right. Just to highlight, what if, for instance, we had 3.16 divided by 0.4? So same kind of numbers, but this time, what do we do? Sushi?
Make it 316 by 100 and 40 by 100.
Okay, divided by...
4 over 10.
Okay, I'm going to write 4 over 10 instead of 40. Now, I think you could write 40 over 100. Okay, that's not wrong, but we might then be able to simplify. Same thing again, 316 over 100 times
10 over 4.
10 over 4. This time, though, this 10 doesn't cancel the whole 100, but it will cancel
1 of the
10 of it. So we end up with having to do 316 over 40. Okay? Now, again, 316 divided by 40. Right? Sorry, 40. How do we do that? Well, just have to do it, do we? 360 divided by 40, so how many is it? So we've got other methods now. So we go 40, 80, so on, yeah? So 4 times 40 is 160. 8 times 40 is 320. So it's going to be 7 times 40 is 280. So we've got 7, and then the answer is 280, but we're remainder
36.
4. Is it? No. What is it? 36 remainder. And then what do we do? 40 into it doesn't work, so Amal?
We put a 0. We put a decimal
A
point,
decimal
and then a 0.
and a 0, and then do 40 into,
360.
which is
9.
9. So we end up with 7.9. Okay. Now the question there is, could I have just done 316 divided by 4, which would be 79, and then do divide by 10 because it's by another 10? We could have done that, couldn't we? Now, what I want to go back to though, so this answer is 7.9, but I want to just point out that what we ended up having to do was 316 divided by 40. Alright, so it's coming back to what Sushi says. When you did a divide, the way to do a divide is as long as you times the numbers by the same amount, the sum does not change. Okay? Now that hopefully would make, so this is the important one, so I multiply by 10. I multiply by 10, but that still leaves a decimal, so I want to multiply by 100, do that one by 100 as well. And then I can do it. Alright? Now that should make sense to you, because if I said to you, equivalent fractions, okay, how do you find equivalent fractions? So let's say 3 over 4 is the same as, Sushi?
6 over 8.
6 over 8. It's the same thing. Now a fraction is just a what?
I know, it's just a division.
Yeah, a fraction is another way of writing division, like we did here. Look, 316 divided by 100 is a fraction. Now, I can say this is the same as this, because 6 over 8 is 6 over 8 is 3 times 2 over 4 times 2. So by multiplying both numbers, so 3 times 2 divided by 4 times 2, if I multiply this by the same to both things, I don't change the answer. So it works the same with division of decimals as well. Okay, make sense? Any questions on that? No, you're all okay. You can do your multiplication and division now then. You've finished yours.
Oh, we're supposed to do it once. So
No, you weren't, Ben. The fact that you've paid